Things just took a concerning turn for the Phoenix Suns as the latest report drops that Matt Ishbia and Brian Gregory in their head coaching search was asking particularly about how they would handle one player. And it's the player that you would least expect from this Phoenix Suns roster, and it's revolving around Bradley Beal. And as we all know, the Suns fans and uncertainty revolving around Beal is a main question and main obstacle for how the Suns handle this offseason. But with this report coming in, does this mean that Bradley Beal could still stay on the roster post this season? Well, we're going to have to dive in and get into all of that and explore all of the options and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I am Bruce Veliz, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic, showing your love and support on the channel, which I really do appreciate over these last couple of weeks. As you guys all know, the Suns are definitely going to be getting into these major turnstiles of trade talks surrounding around Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and some other named stars. So if you want to stay up to date on everything and make sure you stay intact on all of the Suns news, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as once again, 64% of you guys who watch these videos are not subscribed. And if you want the daily uploads and multiple even uploads sometimes during the week when big news comes out or lots of news comes out, this is the place for you. So without further ado, we're going to dive in and get into today's video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and let's get into it. And ultimately, I asked the question, is this a concern for the Phoenix Suns, as we dive in and explore the latest reports coming out of here from the Sports Illustrated article written by Donnie Druin, who does a fantastic job covering the Phoenix Suns and covering the Arizona Cardinals for Sports Illustrated. Shout out to Donnie. And Donnie illustrates here that the Suns have a Bradley Beal problem. Is according to NBA insider Mark Stein, potential coaching candidates interviewed by the Suns were asked what they would do with Bradley Beal if the player was still on the roster for next season. And once again, this is a major concern and a major red flag, as we heard at the beginning of the season and before the offseason started, that Suns insider John Gambardaro let us know that they do not want Bradley Beal back. And they said that they are trying to get off Bradley Beal 100%. He followed this up by saying, following the Mark Stein report, once again doubling down, saying they do not want Bradley Beal back, but he is untradeable. And if he does not agree to a buyout, then the Suns may be stuck with him. One of the questions they have asked candidates during the coaching cycle was what you would do with Bradley Beal. They 100% do not want him and are looking at how to get out of this contract. Now, like I've illustrated before many times here on the channel, the Phoenix Suns are strapped into the second apron, right? We all know this. They have to pay $218 million basically next season already, putting them over the salary cap with 10 guys on the roster. Now, we do know Vasilij Micic has that team contract, most likely going back to the EuroLeague. It has been, thrown around that he will be going back. Cody Martin on that non-guaranteed deal, most likely getting waived, so the Suns can still save $8 million, and that would put the Suns underneath the first apron, into the first apron, giving them more flexibility to do trades, or even more flexibility to do trades with the buyout, with being able to take more money back on a contract. We all know with Bradley Beal's deal that it is not a very pleasant one. $53 million this season, $57 million next season with a player option that he will accept, which totals to $110 million. So if the Suns would like to get out of Bradley Beal's contract, they would have to waive that contract of $110 million. The only obstacle, obviously, like Donnie mentioned, is with so much money due to Beal, a potential buyout with the guard could get expensive quick, depending on what number both players and team arrive to, though that hit could be spread out over 2 years. Beal and his family reportedly also love it here in the Valley, so there's no true incentive for Bradley Beal to agree on to a move if he doesn't want to. The further that this drags out, the more the Phoenix front office clearly regrets taking on Bradley Beal, his contract, and the drama that ensued from his presence. Donnie follows this up by saying, we'll see if the Suns can find a resolution soon, and I'm hoping that the Phoenix Suns, out of all of this, can find a solution. Like we mentioned as well, on this contract, it's also a no-trade clause that basically Bradley Beal gets to decide where he wants to go. So that's why it's so complicated, because the Suns could have traded Bradley Beal to Brooklyn or Utah, they already would have, and taken back some of those bad contracts, or even taken on some lesser value contracts or one-year deals, similar to how they did with the Jusuf Nurkic contract, right, to kind of get out of this deal. But unfortunately, Bradley Beal doesn't want to go to any of those teams, and I don't blame him. They don't have a direction, and they obviously don't give what's best for Bradley Beal in an ultimately good market either as well. So for Bradley Beal to kind of find that team, it's a little bit difficult, because once he finds that team that he's going to be traded to, those squads as well aren't willing to give the Suns any value or, if anything, back in a trade that the Suns would want. Therefore, the Suns are put in a little bit of a pickle to where he's basically untradeable. That's where it leaves them to wanting to have to stretch and waive him. But with doing that, obviously, like Donnie mentioned, it's a lot of money to stretch and waive. It's $110 million. And to do that, it would have to be waived over 5 seasons. And since the Suns already had stretched and waived last season, EJ Liddell and Nazir Little, because they were untradeable, the Suns already have some salary that they are stretch and waiving. So with that being said, the Phoenix Suns cannot fully stretch and waive Bradley Beal's contract. The max that they can stretch and waive is $97 million, leaving Bradley Beal with a $13 million pay cut. Now that's pretty incentive for Bradley Beal, because he could get that $13 million on the open market, right? If he were to proceed with a buyout and get a 1-year $13 million deal, that would supplement his $110 million. He would obviously get to go to a team that he would like, get some more playing time, and actually be a player for their rotation, but also to that team be on a contract that is worth the value of a Bradley Beal. We all know that Bradley Beal can be a pretty solid player in the NBA. Just one, his fit in Phoenix alongside Devin Booker doesn't work, and two, Bradley Beal's also gotten a couple of injuries with his time in Phoenix and hasn't been able to stay healthy for his tenure in Phoenix. And that's very representative of his contract. With those two things kind of being in play, he is not worth the $50 million for the Phoenix Suns, nor is I think he worth the $50 million on the open market to any team around the NBA. So therefore, that's where it's going to come down to it. Now, Beal could also potentially get even more money on the open market. Say he gets a 2-year $25 million deal, he can cut out that remaining money from the Phoenix Suns and make it even easier for the squad to buy out him for less money. But not only just that, also helping the Suns with their tax bill, because it would be less money to stretch out over time. That's where it really comes down to with Bradley Beal in this whole situation. Personally, in my opinion, there's a very two-sided weighted argument of should they keep Bradley Beal, should they waive Bradley Beal. Ultimately, regardless of what they do, they're in a difficult decision. If they waive Bradley Beal, obviously there's around $20 million on the books, and that's going to be tough for the Suns to use and in dead money to kind of rebuild a roster or retool a roster around Devin Booker for the next 5 seasons. You would think Devin Booker at that point would be getting closer to 35, and at that point it will be a little bit difficult to obviously put a championship roster around your superstar in Devin Booker. The only other hindrance of keeping Bradley Beal is obviously finding out what role he can significantly play for your team, because obviously he hasn't had a good response with the fans, and obviously it is a business. The fans may have to deal with it, but like Gambo has reported, even the Suns front office and the Suns organization is not happy with Bradley Beal and wants him out of this organization. So it's really tough if he does stay, obviously, with his family. It is obvious. I think he could still find a role as a backup point guard for this team, but also he's going to be playing a lesser role for this squad here for the Phoenix Suns, making more money, and also the fan response is not going to be the best as well, and that's something that the Suns have to also value when considering bringing him back. So those are the two kind of obviously sides of things. Like I mentioned, I'm kind of in the middle, to be honest, if you really want my honest thoughts, because I could see an explanation for both sides here for the Phoenix Suns. Once again, this is just a proof of failure of their organization and front office on what they were able to try to go out and get out to rebuild this roster, and ultimately trading for a net negative contract, knowing that the second apron restrictions were coming into play, and that's ultimately what has screwed them here and put them in this very difficult decision. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What would you like the Phoenix Suns to do with Bradley Beal's contract, and are you guys concerned that there's the potential that he could still be on the roster next season? Once again, I really do appreciate all your guys' support on the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below, and really supporting the channel. So once again, thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everyone.